Hello, my name is Mohawk Johnson from Mo Hates Media or Mohawk So Funny, or Techno Jail, any of those TikToks. And I want you all to know that I deactivated my TikToks today. All of them. They're all gone. They all had to go. The reason that I had to delete my TikToks is because I got kicked out of my monetization. And I'm going to attempt to truncate 5 years of a battle, a 5 year battle, into maybe a 15 to 20 minute video. I'm going to give it my best shot. To make a very long story short, which I said before, pardon me for the redundancy, there is no script. I keep getting fucked over by that app immensely. That app harms me. That app is bad for my mental health. And I can't keep it up, especially because of the amount of just sheer verbal abuse that I have to endure from the people in my comment section and people who follow me and trolls and stuff like that. I can't. And I absolutely will not do it for free. I will not endure that for free. So, in chronological order, I was asked by someone, by an acquaintance, to make a TikTok to catalog my journey on house arrest, which is its own story. To summarize that, I was at a Black Lives Matter protest / defund ICE protest in 2020. A police officer hit an unarmed woman in front of me really hard and had struck other people. And he and I threw down, and I herniated 2 discs in his neck and messed up his shoulder using one of my skateboards. And I was arrested, jailed, put on house arrest, sat for years, was released from house arrest, sat for more years, and I'm now doing a 2-year-long probation period. So I have been dealing with the system for 6 years for beating up a man who has 24 different excessive words. Ooh, Jesus. He has 24 excessive force complaints on his record. 24. Including one where he shot an unarmed man for a gun he had in his car that evidence never recovered, and weed that was also never in the car and never recovered. So this man has tried to unalive people. He has tried to take people off the map. And I threw down with him, and the city of Chicago thought that his career mattered more than the lives that he ruined. So I made a TikTok to sort of catalog what was going on with that per the request of that acquaintance. And it started going viral. It started going extremely viral. Real viral, real fast. We're talking 16 million views in the first week, right? Tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of followers. I think I left that TikTok at 330,000 followers, right? And this is early in the creator fund, right? So I applied, and they initially said no. Then they later sent me an email saying that I was qualified. And then I applied again, and they said no again and said that I didn't meet the qualifications. But per their last email, they said that I had, right? This is at a time where I had 100,000 followers and was averaging around 40,000 to 50,000 views a video. Again, most of my early ones stayed in the millions, and it was of my leg monitor going off while I was in the house. I would be in the house watching movies or playing video games. My leg monitor would go off. They would accuse me of sneaking out. I would go, hey, I'm home. And the court would use those violations to extend my stay on house arrest, so I stayed locked up for longer. And it finally got to the point where I installed security cameras in my home. So I had to record every moment of my life via security cam footage so that I could prove to the court that I was not being in violation of my house arrest order, which ended up not mattering because they would use it against me in court anyway, despite me showing up with ample evidence that I didn't do any of what they said I did. They didn't care. They wanted me to be locked up, so they just didn't care. So for 2 straight years, I turned my life into television for people who were fascinated by what was happening to me, who felt pity for what was happening to me, and who wanted to troll me because of what was happening to me. And from those trolls, I started getting reported over and over and over again. They would report everything I did. So I would get flagged for nudity. I would get flagged for violence, etc., etc. And I would always have my clothes on. And I would usually be alone in those videos. So who am I being violent to? You know what I'm saying? I got flagged for weapons when I didn't have any weapons. I've been flagged for all types of stuff. And after flag and flag and flag and flag and flag over and over and over and over again, I didn't post on that page for 8 months. I decided it didn't fucking matter because it's not like I was going to be a content creator anyway. I had given up on that. And that's not what it was for. So I continued cataloging stuff on my Instagrams, my old ones. And I got tired of that too. And eventually I let the page sit. Stop making stuff. Stop trying to rebrand as a guy that isn't just the jail man. I also have like funny stuff. I'm not just the guy that beat up the cop, and it didn't matter. So I started a second TikTok, Mohawk So Funny. And I started going viral for that. My most viral video at the time was top 10 shoes white people ruin, which is a joke about white folk and fashion. And that went really viral. But then the trolls came and they went, well, what if I said this about black people? And there is no if. Like, I was on TikTok. I was already getting called the N-word for having opinions about Spider-Man. The fuck you mean if? I grew up on Xbox Live. There's no if. There's never an if we did that to black people. We absolutely did. We do it every fucking time. And then they started reporting me and flagging me. And then the videos tanked again. So I left it alone. Came back to it every now and then, but I left it alone. Never made enough to qualify for the creator fund. Gave up. Focused on Instagram. Focused on making a YouTube. My YouTube started doing well. And I started posting things on Mohawk So Funny again. Maybe a year later. This is 2023 and going into 2024, right? I then asked a friend of mine, should I make a separate TikTok for just the nerd stuff? And he was like, yeah, make it easy and specific for people who come to you for one thing versus another thing instead of having a bunch of stuff all over the place. I was like, I bet. So I made Mo Hates Media. I made the Mo Hates Media TikTok, and that's where all my short form stuff went. That's where it all went. And it blew up. It blew up immediately. Immediately I started blowing up. And I started getting emails about, hey, join the creator fund. And I had already had a horrible time the last time. So I was hesitant. And then finally I decided, you know what, fuck it, I'll do it. Because I needed the money. I really needed the money. So I applied and I was accepted. And they started paying me for my content. I finally started getting paid. Finally. And then Mohawk So Funny blew up a couple of times, and I made enough to qualify for monetization there too. And then I monetized that, and I started making money off of that. And I wasn't making enough to pay rent, but I was definitely covering my utilities and my groceries. And that meant so much because, I'm working at a restaurant. I'm a server. I'm not making that much money, especially in the winter, especially when it's the slow season. I had that big blow up with GameStop where they fired me for the felony that I told them about the day I applied. And that they gave me a letter for. They gave me a letter to show my parole officer saying that they knew about the felony and that I had gotten promoted to management just for them to fire me a week later because they knew the whole fucking time. That's its own video that I already made. It meant something to finally build something that had nothing to do with me being in jail. To not just be the house arrest guy, to just be Mohawk again, to be Jeremy again, to fucking matter. And that's where I fucked up. I fucked up by making the assumption that I mattered because right when I started doing well, the trolls came again and they started harassing me in comments, flagging my videos, calling me racial slurs. And then when I would clap back, I get in trouble. So I stopped clapping back and I let people do whatever. But the space became toxic, and black people stopped feeling safe. Women stopped feeling safe. Gay people stopped feeling safe. Trans people stopped feeling safe. And I started clapping back again because I needed my page to be safe for marginalized people. And I kept getting flagged over and over again. Again, nudity and violence, shit that I was not doing. All while these people call me slurs, call me the hard ER. And when I would report their comments, they would say that the comments don't violate community standards. So me being called a N-word with a hard ER, no community standards violation. I say somebody looks like a toad in a suit. All of a fucking sudden, I'm bullying. And this behavior goes on for another year, 2024, into now. I start making Beyblade videos and they start reporting those too. Nudity, violence. Again, playing with Beyblades, playing with tops. The little, these. They're flagging me for nudity, for playing with these. Playing with my roommate with these. Because my roommate now, we collect them. I start getting flagged for that. I start getting flagged for that heavy, and it fucks the whole channel up. It fucks up all my momentum. My money starts getting cut. Then friends of mine start telling me that white creators are stealing my content. And I start reporting these people and complaining about it and making us think about it. And my fans are making us think about it. And then those people, instead of dealing with the fact that they stole from me, they would block me and they would report me. And then I would get flagged for unoriginality for videos that I had made a month prior. While people who stole my content would get millions of views and humongous payouts for stealing my fucking jokes verbatim. My bad, I'm rustling because I'm cold. I'm putting a blanket on. Now, that continues. I keep getting blocked and flagged for unoriginality because other people are copying me and stealing my stuff. And I just decided today that I wasn't going to do it anymore. I wasn't going to try to fight anymore. I'm not going to be able to fight that platform, especially not by myself. White kids are literally stealing my fucking work and making a fucking mint. And I can't pay rent off of content creation. I can't. And the part that sucks the most is that whenever I talk about this, my fan base is like, hey, we're tired of you talking about money all the time. Talk about something else. Just focus on the people who do give you money. But it's hard to not focus on the everyday of my life, which is that I am being fucked over, which is that I am being harmed, which is that I am being played with, which is that I am being fucked over. And that sucks a lot. And it sucks that the vast majority of my fan base doesn't care and will not hold space for that. I know there are individuals that do, and I care about that greatly. Thank you so much. But a lot of people don't, and that's worth conversation. It sucks that on a page of 27,000 people on one and 28,000 on the other, that less than 200 people pay for my content monthly. It sucks that 40 people pay for roast videos for me to make fun of, harmful people or fictional people. And millions of people watch it, meaning I get $5 for a roast. I get a Mountain Dew and a candy bar. And millions of people watch it for free. And very few of those people support me. And it sucks that when I talk about it to the tens of thousands of people who follow me on my other platforms, that their first thought is, shut up, you complain too much, and not, there's tens of thousands of us, we should help that man that makes us laugh. Because he deserves it, because he's owed, because he's being fucked over. Because Instagram doesn't pay him either, because YouTube doesn't pay him either. We should do it. We should, because if no one's going to, it should be us. We should step up. No one wants that. It sucks that black creators are going through this all over the place, that other creators are going through this, what I'm going through. And that they're too afraid to speak up because they don't want to deal with the backlash. They don't want to deal with the lack of support. They don't want to deal with people unfollowing them. I've been unfollowed by thousands of people at a time for just talking about how I got fucked over with money and how I want my fan base to pay me directly because they think the app should. And when I show them tangible evidence that the app does not do what it's supposed to do and that I need them to step up, I get met with a "we'll miss you," or they unfollow me. Like, my TikTok fan base is one of the worst fan bases I've ever fucking had. They don't fucking care. They always frame me not posting anymore, leaving, as me not having the gumption to persevere through mistreatment, and that I just need to get up and stick to it and that it'll go. And not the fact that I am being systemically repressed and harmed by literal fucking racists. They don't fucking care. They don't care about anything. They want me to make the funny and shut the fuck up. They don't care. And like I said, I was delusional because I thought I mattered. Like I said earlier, I thought that it mattered that I had built something from the ground up, and it just doesn't. And I feel low, and I feel hurt. And I feel tired. And I feel angry, and I feel bad, and I feel guilty because people are asking for roast videos, and like, large content creators have put in work to help build me up, not only on TikTok, but also like on Instagram and YouTube and stuff. And I don't have what it takes emotionally to stick to it the way they did. I don't have that. I've been doing this for 5 years, and I have only ever gotten fucked over. And I can't. And make no mistake, my pursuit of fame has ruined friendships. It's ruined relationships. It's ruined a lot of stuff. I have torn up my life to focus solely on being the best content creator I can be, to always be available, to always be down, to always be prepared to make something or record something or react to something. I have become a horrible and angry person because of all the hate that I consume every day, so that I can make jokes and make fun and berate and bemoan people who hurt other people. And it is doing what I fear is irreparable damage to my personality. And now I have to do it broke. And when I talk about this, the only thing I get from a lot of people is, well, just do it anyway, or join another content creation platform or something. Because the thing I need when I've already worked for years for free is more work to do for free so that I might get paid later, because that fucking helps. Because nobody wants to fucking do anything. And when I talk like this, I sound bitter, and it makes people want to help me even less, but I don't know what to do other than tell you all the truth. I don't want to manipulate you into paying me by pretending that I'm happy about what I do. I did the funny, and someone has to fucking pay me. Because y'all asked for the funny and y'all followed for the funny, but nobody thinks it's their fucking job. The apps won't, the fans don't want to, and then I starve. I make the funny and I starve. And they steal your data, and you swipe and you consume somebody else who you don't give a fuck about. And I starve. And I ask you to follow me somewhere else and you don't come. I ask you to support me over here and you don't come. And I'll say there's 40,000 people here, 10,000 people there, 300,000 people here. I only need 1,000 of you to step up, and you don't come. I am so fucking tired. I am so fucking tired. I will continue posting roast videos next week, but I do not have the current capacity to keep this up this week. Thank you to anybody who's supported me. I appreciate it. I'm gonna go now.